Chapter 6. Beauty Smith. When White Fang was nearly 5 years old, Gray Beaver took him on another great journey. They went down the Mackenzie River and across the Rocky Mountains to the Yukon River. When they stopped at villages, White Fang was quick to fight with the dogs there. They did not recognize the fact that he was part wolf, and they were not ready for his fast and dangerous attacks. Many of them died in these deadly fights. White Fang and Gray Beaver arrived at Fort Yukon in the summer of 1898. At this time, thousands of men were going up the Yukon River to Dawson City and the Klondike to look for gold. Gray Beaver knew about this. He had clothes and shoes made from animal skins with him to sell to these people. In Fort Yukon, White Fang saw white men for the first time. To begin with, he did not go near these strange new gods, but he felt sure that they were different. They had more power than the Indians he knew. They too were interested in him, and what was more, they did not hurt the dogs who went near them. Only a few white men lived in Fort Yukon, but a steamer arrived every 2 or 3 days. It stopped for 5 or 6 hours and then went away again. Many more white men came and went on the steamer. There was no work for White Fang to do. Gray Beaver was busy selling things to the white men and getting rich. So, White Fang spent his time starting fights with the white men's dogs. None of them could fight well. They made a lot of noise and ran and jumped at White Fang. But he threw them off or bit them. Then he left them for the other Indian dogs to kill. This was the right thing to do because the white gods were always angry when their dogs died in a fight. When it happened, the men chased the Indian dogs and hit them with heavy sticks while White Fang watched. He enjoyed the fights, and they were easy to start. When the dogs came off the steamer and saw him, they immediately recognized a wild and dangerous animal. And because, soon after they were born, they learned to kill wild things, they attacked him. The white men in Fort Yukon did not like the gold hunters who came off the steamer, but they liked to take their money. And they were always happy to see the white men's dogs chased and killed by the Indian dogs. One man liked the fights more than any of the others. As soon as he heard a steamer coming, he ran down to the dock to meet it. His name was Smith. Nobody knew his first name, but the men in the town called him Beauty because he was not beautiful. He was a small man with large yellow eyes and big yellow teeth, like Fang's. He did the cooking and washed the dishes for the other men, but they did not like him. He was a coward, and like many cowards, he was a cruel man, too. Beauty Smith watched White Fang fighting, and he wanted to buy the wolf dog. He tried to make a friend of the animal, but White Fang growled at him and showed him his teeth. He did not like this man. White Fang was in Gray Beaver's camp when Beauty Smith first visited it. He watched the two men talking together for a long time. The Indian did not want to sell White Fang. He was rich and did not need the money. But Beauty Smith visited Gray Beaver's camp often, and there were always 1 or 2 bottles of whiskey under his coat. Gray Beaver liked the whiskey, and soon more and more of his money went on it. After a short time, he had no money left. Then Beauty Smith spoke to him again about White Fang, and persuaded Gray Beaver to sell the dog to him for more of the bottles. "You catch him," said the Indian, "and you can have him." After 2 days, Beauty Smith went back to Gray Beaver. "You catch him," he said. White Fang trotted into the camp that evening, and Gray Beaver tied a long, thin piece of leather to him. The Indian sat down with a bottle of whiskey and drank for an hour before Beauty Smith arrived. The white man stood above White Fang and put out a hand to rub the animal's head. White Fang tried to bite it, and Gray Beaver hit him on the head. Beauty Smith was angry and afraid. He went away and came back with a big stick. White Fang jumped at him, but the man hit him hard with the stick. White Fang fell down on the ground, and the man took the leather and pulled it. Now, White Fang followed him. At his home, Beauty Smith tied White Fang to a door with the leather and went to bed. White Fang waited an hour. Then he started to bite the leather. After a minute, he was free, and he went back to Gray Beaver's camp. In the morning, Gray Beaver took him back to Beauty Smith. The white man hit White Fang hard, then tied him with a thick rope. After many hours, the dog bit through the rope and ran back to Gray Beaver. The next morning, Beauty Smith came for him once more. He hit the animal again and again until White Fang was weak and sick. Gray Beaver watched but said nothing. White Fang was not his property now, and it was time for him to leave Fort Yukon and start his journey home.